Okie dokie, boys and girls, it is day 55 of Calisthenics Endurance, and today's leg workout is again very simple. Just squats upon squats upon squats. And when people think about endurance training and high rep training, there are oftentimes two main arguments, as in do not do them, right? Two main arguments to not do endurance or high rep workouts. And those are, first of all, it takes time because you're doing a lot of reps. And second, it doesn't build muscle because you're doing a lot of reps. And that's endurance, and endurance doesn't build muscle. But from experience, I just want to debunk both of those statements. So let's start with the workouts take a lot of time. Now, I like to train every day, but you don't have to do this. Keep this in mind, right? So at the moment, I'm doing endurance workouts for basically all of my trainings, except hamstrings. I'm doing dips, high rep. I'm doing pull-ups, high rep. I'm doing squats, high rep. And I'm even trying to do planche, high rep, right? So I'm doing a lot of reps, and what I've noticed is actually compared to when I was bulking, for example, and doing more strength-focused training, my trainings have gotten shorter. That's because, yes, I am doing more reps, but in the endurance context, I want to have that endurance, and so the rest time is going to become less as well. So today, you're seeing me squat, doing one squat after the other. I'm doing 150 reps in total on each leg, so that's 300 reps. That's not a tiny amount, so to speak, right? It's way more than a normal squat workout. However, you can also see I'm doing one rep every 3 seconds. I'm not taking rest time. And, it's not always like this, but even if you take other styles of workouts, for example, EMOM, every minute on the minute, you're doing a sit, it takes perhaps 15 seconds, and the remaining 45 seconds is rest time, right? Rest time is very low. So yes, you're doing more sets, and you're doing more reps, but you're also not resting as much. If you can do an EMOM workout for 20 sets, 20 minutes, right? That's a very short workout, but it's going to be very intense. And so I noticed that even if you're in shape, right? You're doing one main part of your workout, perhaps in EMOM, it takes you about 15 to 20 minutes. And then even if you're in shape, right, and you need some extra stimulus, you move on to something else. It takes perhaps another 15 minutes. Your workout takes 30 to 40 minutes. That's what I've been experiencing. Planche workout about 30 minutes. Squat workout 15 minutes because I'm not in shape yet. Dips, pull-ups, all around 30 to 40 minutes. And so it's a very short workout, right? And so especially if you're not training every day, let's say you're doing pull, push, legs, right? The standard workout, and you're doing one of those workouts every week, 3 sessions a week, you're going intense. That's not a lot of time to spend on your workout. So that's why I think, compared to strength work, where yes, the amount of reps is lower, but your rest time is higher, you need a more extensive warm up. Those are all going to take time, right? I think endurance is actually a very time efficient way. So that's, myth number one, right? And then we have the second one, it doesn't build muscle. Now, from experience, I'm going to just say it's not true, right? Last year in the summer, in August actually, yeah, 1 year ago, I had a very weak chest. I had it was my weakest body part. And in August, I started, becoming more and more interested in endurance stuff. And what I was doing is I was doing bodyweight push-ups and then eventually bodyweight dips, right? 95% of my training, I guess, was bodyweight, like volume focused. I'm not talking about, 100, 200 reps in a session. I'm talking about building up to 1,000 reps in a session. Again, even those longer sessions only took me an hour, but that's not the point. The point is, I was doing a lot of reps, and I've never seen my chest explode or any body part that I have explode like that before. It was insane. Like, I started doing push-ups. I started perhaps with a couple hundred reps in one session. I built up. 1 month later, I of course had gotten stronger, but also I could just see in the mirror the difference in my chest. It was like I was confused as to what was happening. Like it wasn't supposed to go that fast. And this kept happening for a couple months where I was seeing substantial gains every month, and now I'm just happy with where my chest is. But like the fact or like the misconception that you don't build muscle, right, with endurance is just, it's not true, right? It's a misconception, like I mentioned. And I guess people think you don't build muscle with endurance because, well, 8 to 12 reps is the most efficient way and this and that. But no, the most important part is not whether you're doing 8 to 12 reps or not and 3 sets, right? If you're doing 8 to 12 reps, but you're not challenging yourself, you're not going to build muscle. What's going to build you muscle is becoming stronger than last time, challenging yourself more than last time. And so if I build up from, a couple hundred reps in a workout to then twice a week doing more than 500, even 1,000 or 1,500 reps, well, then of course I've gotten stronger. I'm challenging myself. The last part in that workout, right? Even like in endurance, the first part will be very easy because you're not tired yet. The last part will be very difficult, right? The last part, right, where I do those couple hundred reps, I'm doing very intense work. I'm going to my max or close to my max for multiple sets, right? And so it's a very taxing workout, and so it's gonna build muscle. That's just my experience. Like, I'm not denying these misconceptions, in my opinion. I'm not denying these arguments based on science because I don't need to. I can deny them based on experience. From my experience, endurance workouts are quick, 30 to 40 minutes, or if you're not in shape, even less. And they build muscle. Like they exploded my gains last year when I was bulking and I was building my chest for the first time. So yeah, that's it for the yap today. I guess I'm just gonna keep playing the squatting video because no way in hell it's already gonna be done. Today's menu is 15 minutes of squatting. I'm doing one squat every 3 seconds, which equals to 150 reps on each leg. That's equal to my lifetime PR, but it's also a stepping stone to an actual lifetime PR next time. So very exciting, and I'll see you after it's done. Holy shit. Okay, so about 15 minutes after I stopped yapping, the squats have been completed and the legs have been destroyed. Holy moly, the last 50-40 reps were very difficult. And the great thing is, I'm not even in shape, right? I'm not in shape, so I can end the workout right here, because if you are in shape, you need a stronger stimulus, right? If you're doing stuff you're used to, you're not gonna grow stronger anymore. So let's say I was stronger and I was used to these kind of workouts, it wouldn't be a challenge. And so afterwards, I would have to, take a quick rest and do some more finisher sets. Just like yesterday, I did my straddle planche push-ups volume, then I took 5 to 10 minutes of rest, and I did some more sets, at a higher intensity to finish off the workout. But today, that won't be necessary. I just need to make sure I recover properly, because next time I'm gonna challenge 200 reps per leg, 400 reps in total. It's gonna be a lifetime PR, mostly due to technicality, because I just haven't challenged myself enough in the endurance department for legs yet. But newbie gains are gains nonetheless, so very much looking forward to it. And don't be afraid to do reps, especially if you're heavier. The heavier you are in calisthenics, the more gains you can make. Not perhaps in terms of how long your planche hold is and how long or how many front lever pull-ups you can do, but more so in just brute strength. Because if you are at a high body weight, relatively strong to your body weight, that means you're absolutely strong as well. And that's what it's all about, right? So, eat, or, well, I guess work hard, study well, and eat and sleep plenty, right? The heavier you are in calisthenics, you're just doing hypertrophy. Don't be afraid to bulk, just become stronger, do the reps, and enjoy the gains. But I'm gonna see you tomorrow for dips. Oh boy.